everybody, it's Charlotte, and I wanted to show you today 3 cards that I have made from the Simon Says Stamp card kit for June 2020. I know it's a little late, and I also didn't have time to do a processing video, but I still wanted to get these out to you and give you some ideas. And thanks so much for coming back and spending time with me. The first card I have was using the stencil that was in the kit, and before I actually laid this stencil down, I took some heavy cardstock and I used some black soot distress ink to stamp a pattern on the background. This pattern came from a background stamp, script stamp that I bought many years ago. I'm sure it's probably not even available, but I know many of us have these types of background stamps, and if you don't have a script, I'm sure you can use anything with some more fine details to get the same look. After I did that, I used the stencil and I used different colors of distress ink, and I didn't use the oxide inks for this. I thought it would be better with the brighter colors from the regular distress inks. And the colors that I used, let's see. So on the bottom part of the butterfly, I used the darker ink of Salty Ocean. Then I used Peacock Feathers, and on the top I used some Broken China. After I inked those up, I took the Gina K Glitter Glitz Gel that came in the kit and used my spatula to spread the gel over the surface of the stencil. And then I removed that and washed it right away, because this glitter gel will damage your stencil. You'll never be able to get it off if you leave it on for too long. Rinse that right away in some warm water and let that set overnight. And then the next day I mounted it on just some blue cardstock that I had in my stash. I used 2 sentiments from the kit. The first one, I used white embossing powder on black paper, and the second, the reverse, black embossing powder on white cardstock. And then I just used an oval die set I had in my stash to cut that out. Mounted those on foam tape, and that was the first card from the kit. The second card, I used the largest butterfly in the stamp set, and I couldn't resist to use the new color from the Distress line called Speckled Egg to stamp the butterfly. Then I used embossing I've got the word speckled in my head now. I can't think of the other word. A glitter embossing powder on top of that, and embossed that. Use this little gem that we got in a prior Simon Says stamp kit. And for the background here, I've actually used, if you're familiar with the Glimmer Hot Foil from Spellbinders, and I just took some of their circle dies and used the color Moonshine, I believe it is, foil on that. The bottom half of the card, I just had some patterned paper in the greenish blue or the bluish green color here, and then I embossed that with any real embossing folder will do for that. I have this one that I believe was used recently in a video by Sherry Carroll. It is the embossing folder, 3D Sizzix embossing folder from Tim Holtz, called, what is it? I don't know what the name of it is. This is it here. And then I mounted that all on foam tape and used a piece of coordinating cardstock from my stash. This is also from Spellbinders, a hot foil plate that I embossed in the same color foil, which is Moonshine, on a strip of white cardstock, and that is the second card. My third card is here, and what I've done here is just embossed all the different butterflies in a pattern on a piece of Nina Desert Storm, 80 pound I believe, and then I used Prisma, so I embossed those with a white embossing powder, and then I used Prisma colored pencils. I just love their blues, and colored in all of the butterflies. I used an outline rectangular die. That is a Sizzix die as well. It's an old Sizzix die, but I believe it's still available, and I just love how it pokes little holes in the paper and just giving it a little added. I just like that a little better than the stitched dies for most of my cards, but although I do use the stitched dies as well. Then this is actually a piece of acetate that I use when I cut my own stencils, and I just had an extra piece, and I thought I wanted to try to foil with the Glimmer Hot Foil system on the this piece of acetate, and it worked great. And I really love how, I mean, it's similar to what you could, if you didn't have the acetate, you can use, of course, some, what am I going to say, vellum, and that would give you a similar look. But I noticed that the glimmer, actually the foils much better on the acrylic than it does on vellum. And that is it for my 3 cards from the Simon Says Stamp Kit. I hope that you all have a great rest of your day, and I appreciate anything you can do by giving me a thumbs up or subscribing to my channel. And it's been great. Whoop, I think that's off camera. Let me move those in a little bit more. And there are the 3 of them. And thanks for your time. Have a great day. Bye.